Hello, welcome to our second webinar on digital upskilling in this series for Oxia. I'm Paul, an audit partner at PwC, and I'm responsible for our internal transformation programs, including digital upskilling. I'm joined by Farhan, who is also an audit partner responsible for digital upskilling, along with markets and business development. So what are we going to cover today? In our first webinar, Farhan talked about the Isle of Man position and why we, as an island, need to digitally upskill. Farhan will provide a brief summary of that today, but if you missed it, I strongly recommend you going back and taking a look at that webinar. Having identified the importance of upskilling, today we will look at how we are upskilling at PwC, internally and in the community. Hopefully you will find it interesting and it will give you some ideas for your own upskilling programs. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Farhan.
Hello all, and thank you very much for your introduction, Paul. As Paul has already suggested, this is like the second webinar that we've done for this series of Oxia. And in the first webinar, we drilled into the detail of our thought leadership for the Isle of Man, which was the upskilling the Isle of Man workforce for the digital world. Without going into the detail and before going into the real message that we want to come across in this webinar, we thought it would be better for all of us to understand and know why and where is it coming from. If we go into the detail and the key findings of this thought leadership, we can see that because of the digitization and all the new automation that is coming into our world, there is a potential jobs at risk due to that of about 32.5% of the Isle of Man workforce, and this is the risk between now and 2035. This translates into about 16,000 employees, the majority of them being in the financial services. However, we can still train ourselves and we can still upskill. And if we do it now rather than later, the difference in cost is just 6 times. Therefore, we should start doing this now, and we really think it's an imperative for the Isle of Man. We have split the impact of these jobs at risk in 3 different waves. As can be seen, we have the algorithmic wave, the augmentation wave, and the autonomous wave. The most impact is going to be about 2030, and this is going to be due to augmentation. However, if we put together the first wave, algorithmic and augmentation, that's where we get more than 50% of the jobs lost. And that's why this digital upskilling webinar is relevant for all of us.
Thank you, Farhan. Let's look at this in the context of what this means to our own industry. Technology is accelerating change across society in every area of the world. If we look at what an audit used to look like, clients would give us information hard copy, everything was on paper files. Computers came along, but it was largely just a documentation tool, and testing was still very manual. So what does it look like now? Our clients are processing increasingly large volumes of data, and we receive and share information digitally. To identify higher risk transactions and provide better insight, we need to analyze that data, testing 100% of the population rather than relying on random sampling. And that requires increasing use of data analytics, robotic process automation, and a drive towards the application of artificial intelligence. To prepare our people for this, we need to invest in digital upskilling. We can also look at it from the perspective of what our clients are expecting. They're looking for more value and insight, a more technology-enabled experience, and lower cost, which means we need to be more efficient. So what are we doing about this? We are deeply committed to digitally transforming the way we work, and to ensure a successful digital transition, we've invested in programs and technology to help upskill all of our teams' digital capabilities. Digitizing the network is about equipping our people everywhere with the skills, knowledge, and digital resources that will help them and the firm be fit for the future. So what are the benefits? For our people, We want to take away the repetitive tasks, allowing them to focus on the more rewarding work. For the firm, we can deliver more insight to our clients and be more efficient and reduce costs. We are also helping to create a more knowledgeable society overall, supporting communities in their own upskilling. Okay, so let's look at how we are upskilling. We will talk through some key elements of the PwC programme, including the use of digital academies, digital accelerators, and first, Farhan will cover the digital fitness assessment app.
So how do we upskill? We have focused in two main areas. One is the internal upskilling, which Paul will cover later, and another one, which is the external upskilling. As part of this external upskilling, we, as PwC Isle of Man, we have made all this digital fitness assessment app available to all the Isle of Man population. So what is this digital fitness app? What does it do? Before I go into the detail and explain a bit more, I'll show you a video which will help you understand. So this digital fitness app, it's been built in collaboration with the CATSA Bank is part of our PwC strategy and network, and is an expert on organizational culture, change, and teaming. All the information sitting behind, it's been built with more than 10 years of digital survey data that has been collected and has been put in 4 main dimensions. These 4 dimensions are the ones that you can see in the screen, which are skills, mindset, relationships, and behavior. As you can already identify, just one of the 4 dimensions relate to actual skills. What's more relevant for all of us to upskill is just our mindset. How do we relate between ourselves, relationships, and how do we change our behavior? All of these 4 dimensions get broken into some subsets, and this is part of the assessment and all the upskilling that goes with the app. So how does that work? As part of the app, the first, you have an assessment. So as you go into the app, you will have a short questionnaire which lasts between 10 and 15 minutes and should help the app set up what's your level of knowledge, and you'll grow from there. Then the second part is about the learning. How are we going to learn and develop? And the last is how do we grow? And as part of that, there will be a little test that it's done every time that you finish one of the core learning points. So if we go into the detail of how am I going to learn, as you can see in the top right of your screen, there are 3 different programs that once you've set up yourself, you can decide how much time you're going to spend per week. You can be considered to be a recreational person, an athletic person, or an Olympian. And this will give you the number of minutes per week, which could be between 20, 40, and 60. Then, depending on how we are developing ourselves in the 4 dimensions identified, the content will be customized and updated to our needs on a weekly basis. At the same time, every time we do one of these little bite sizes of learning, we will have the option to respond if we have enjoyed or not. And based on that, it will build as well the next content. Why is this digital fitness apps so easy because you can do it by reading, you can do it by watching, and you can do it by listening. And as you go along, you can decide which one you prefer more, and the content will be as well updated. Where is all of the content coming from? All of the content is coming from our actual current sources, which would be our strategy and our PwC, the MIT technology, and all of the ones you can see at the top. And there will be some future sources that will be integrated as well as the app keeps growing. The app includes a wide content, and this can be based in three main perspectives, which are business, experience, and technology. And you can decide as you go in the app which one you would like to go. And within the library of the app, you can decide if you want to look at specific things again, like for example, in this example can be seen about cryptocurrency. You would click about technology, cryptocurrency, and you can get the content that is about cryptocurrency. That would be more specific for yourself. So now that we've learned a bit about what it is and how it works, what we all need to do, and especially yourselves that you don't have the app, I would say go into the App Store or Google Play, depends on what phone you have, and using the code LRNALL, you should be able to download it for free and get it and practice and develop your skills.
Okay, next let's talk about digital academies. The purpose of our academies is to digitally upskill our people in key data preparation, manipulation, and visualization tools. They are two-day workshops where we introduce our people to the concepts of digital change. We cover two key technologies, Alteryx for data manipulation and Power BI or Tableau for visualization, providing a mix of hands-on exercises and demonstrations. But it's not just about technology, it's a mindset change. We encourage teams to think about problems they want to solve in the business. For example, manual repetitive tasks that could be automated. This could be client-facing work or internal processes such as compliance or internal financial reporting. One key aspect of the program is that everyone in the firm will attend an academy. It's not driven by role or grade. We want everyone to have these skills. This also includes all of leadership. One of the key lessons learned is that leadership buy-in is critical to the success of the program. I should also add, whilst we established the academies to upskill our own people, we are now able to run these events on a virtual basis for clients. For more information, please get in touch with either myself or Ferran. Now we're going to talk about the role of digital accelerators. One thing we wanted to ensure is that when people complete their academy, they have the support to continue their development and to apply their new skills in the business. To that end, we created a new role, the digital accelerator. These are people in our business who have had additional training, typically 1 or 2 years, over and above the academies. They're not necessarily technologists. Whilst they do get additional technical training on the tools, their role is to help drive change in the business. That can include running in-house workshops on topics of interest, sharing best practices, and supporting teams as they work on solutions that make us more efficient or provide better insight to our clients. One of the other things that we have created as a network is the Digital Lab. This is like an app store for tools that our people have created, allowing them to be uploaded and used by teams all over the world. Next up, Ferran is going to talk about some of our community work.
Thank you, Paul. So our last part of the webinar, and before going into the wrap-up, is what we call contribute. What is contribute and where does that fit? We've talked about what we've done internally. We've talked about what we've done externally. However, what about education? This last part, contribute, will be as part of this educational piece. And we have for that the Hive Hackers. As you can read in the screen, what is it? It says, is to develop and build trust in society by inspiring, encouraging, and preparing young people for a world of technology through exposure to innovative digital education. The Hive Hackers is a program that has been developed by PwC and has already been put in place in the Northern Ireland and Channel Islands very successfully. The target age of the Hive Hackers is for the first school education and for ages between 7 and 11 years old, boys and girls. It's about coding, but in a way that these young people would learn by experience rather than knowing all the technical and the details that goes with coding. The program is split in 7 sections that can be seen here, and it covers different areas, which goes from the programming, the sequencing, the loops, the debugging, the conditionals, an exercise at the end with a Flappy Bird and how it's created their own story. We don't want to give too much now, but we are already in conversations with the schools, and hopefully we'll be putting this program quite soon in a pilot with one of the schools in the Isle of Man. And if all of this is successful, we hope and we would like to include this program as part of the curricula of the Isle of Man schools. Thank you very much, Joel, and I'll leave to Paul just to do the close and the wrap up of the webinar. Thank you and see you again. Bye.
Thank you, Ferran. That brings us to the end of today's webinar. I hope you found this useful, both as a reminder of the importance of upskilling and to give you ideas for your own digital upskilling journeys. We are on the edge of a new world of work, one brimming with possibilities. However, technology is only as good as the leaders who identify its opportunities and the people who work with it every day. Upskilling will bring benefits to our people, our business, and to wider society. If you have any questions about this presentation, please get in touch with Ferran or myself using the contact details provided earlier. If you want to read our upskilling report, you can download a copy at our website. And just a reminder that you can download the Digital Fitness app for free until 31 July 2021. On behalf of Ferran and myself, thank you for watching and goodbye.